working hard or what? And God bless us lowly writers that don't know anything. Well, me, everybody else. Oh my God, I've been humbled, and I'm sorry because I'm not anything on their level. I'm a virgin type of writer. And so now that we know that, I guess I'm more of a brand new speaker, or actually accepting that I am a writer. That's my thing. So just bear with me and correct me and do whatever. I do write for the Reporter, and see, over 50 lighting. This is important. I mean, over 30 lighting. The Reporter, whom I love, and I mean, I truly do believe in all the newspapers and stuff, but they've taken me on, and you actually have to pay a quarter to buy this. Is it still a quarter? Yeah. And then I'm on the second page, the second section, B. And so if you guys, upside down. So if you guys don't know who I am, try to look at it every once in a while. It's kind of funny. It's not anything serious. But, you know, hopefully if you live down here in the Keys, you can relate to it. So what happened is, because I've been writing for the Reporter for 4 years, Dave is the editor there, Dave Goodhue, and he's like my godson, because he took me on. And I've been able to do this for like 4 years. And before that, I actually wrote for the Upper Keys Times. I don't know if you guys remember that way back, the other newspaper. That was free. So I got a lot of readers there. It's amazing what that quarter can do. So I did the same article for the Upper Keys Times. And so when they closed down, it took me about a year to get up enough nerve to go back into Dave, the editor of the Reporter, and say, would you take me on? And he did. And so I've been writing these for a long time. And I started looking at them, and you know, like what we've talked about all day today, if nothing else, just to get it out there, if nothing else, for my lovely daughter and goddaughter, who I know will just treasure it forever, right? And I have my two stepdaughters whom I love. And so if nothing else for that reason, and for me, because there's a lot of work. You start writing these things and you'll be surprised at how much you actually have in your closet or in your drawer and stuff. And like Julie just said, I like your article this week, and I go, what did I write about? It was called Fish Guts Beat Out Diamond Rings, and if you're a local girl down here, you'd rather have the fish guts and go fishing than the actual big chunk of diamond. Or both, Jack. So I did match because I want you guys to, the whole theory is, when I was in school, Jana Vandelaar, because some people say Jana, nothing personal, Dr. Dave. So it's Jana Vandelaar. I'm also with the airline, and so you meet 1,000 people every day, and it's just easier, Jana Vandelaar. So. And then I have to also thank my Betty, because she's the first person that ever bought my book, ever. So, yay! So I just put it all together, all these articles, and my favorite, and my readers, people that have tended to write to me. And really, you guys write to people that are authors, or that's a huge thing, because a lot of people are saying, what does it take to get it out there? And I think at some point, somewhere in here, I think in my acknowledgments or something, Julie, you were reading it again last night, and you forget what you wrote, but at like 4:59, my deadline's at 5, and I mean, I'm like, God, I just don't want to send it in. And I'll do it. And so at 4:59, I'll send it in, and then I'm just stressed because it's out in the world, and I have nothing more to say. And every once in a while, I have begged Dave to not edit it. I mean, not to put it out there until the next day. So I'm like, I might need to tweak this. But at 5:21-ish, he'll write back, and he'll say, I got it, it's a great article, and I'll be like, okay. That's all it takes. That's all we want. So if you guys can write a little note every once in a while to the writers out here, it's amazing. That's all that we really want. It would be nice to get a paycheck, but I'm just saying. Okay, so I wrote to be in the bright yellow and black, so that hopefully you guys will never be able to forget me, and you'll be partially blinded from the brightness. I passed out all these, or I had my girls pass all these out. So you can kind of follow along as you go along. And when Jill asked me to do this, and thank you so much again, she said, what do you want to write about? And I do write different genres, just to start off with. I've done my favorite book that I still want to, that should be out by, I've edited it how many times, honey? Like thousands. A full book about writing as an airline. It's called Allergies Over the Atlantic, and it should be out hopefully by June, because I'm just going to commit to it and get it out there like I'm doing. And it's about a flight attendant that is asked to be a spy, and that actually is happening in this world. And so it's kind of fun, and it's of course humorous. But then I've written children's books because I have my lovely kids that I just adore, and you just write what you know. And so the last 10 years I've known about these kids and how fun. So I did my Puppy Tooth Fairy, and I have tons of those books. And then I did my articles, and it's like, where does it end? And I love writing scripts. I wish, the guy that was here that was talking, I mean, I wish I had the balls to go down and fly out to California and just say I'm good. But, so Sunday.
He was young.
He was young, right? I know. But there's something to be said about older. I was going to say that too. When you get older, you know what? You don't care as much too. So there's another level of that too, where all of a sudden you're like, you know what? I'm good. I'm as good as anybody, and I'm going to get this out. So there's maybe that insecure period in between. So the innocence of the youth and the who cares of the old. I'm going to kick pretty soon. I'm going to get it out there. I don't know. So back on the subject. So the only thing, like Jill suggested, maybe writing. Hi, Royce and Kim. Thanks for coming. So I have to get my friends to come. The thing that she suggested, because I didn't know what I'd even talk about. I've never done this before. And she suggested maybe deadlines, which is a huge thing. And I think I've already covered that at 4:59. I hit the send button, and that's what I do. The only thing that I could really think of that's in common with all my writings and all my different genres is the humor. And so I hope some of you guys find it funny too as you read along at some points in my writing. But maybe I can kind of advise if anybody wants to do anything humorous in their future or something. So there's some secret subject matters that I always tend to fall back on or write about. Number one, and it's on your list too, make your job work for you. I mean, you know, come on. Let's get something out of that job. Number two, even bad days can be funny. 3, everyday things are hilarious. 4, laughing through child labor. I have my kids here, you know, passing out stuff, and you know.
Ignore number 4.
Yeah, ignore number 4. And number 5, relationships require sense of humor, which you guys probably know. I've written about my husband a lot, and that's how I spend the money on my therapy. So,
Oops, next slide.
No, but that's the silence. I don't really remember. I prepared this late last night, so I don't know. And Jack, tell everybody here how much you like to be the star. This is my husband.
I do like it.
He's strange about it. I don't know.
And actually, sometimes I do walk outside of my underwear.
His biggest criticism is, you know, we didn't write about me this week. You know, God, you're such a winner. All right, so he does love all this stuff, and so bear with him. He's got a good sense of humor, and he just has the ego. He's a pilot. Betty used to be a pilot too. Yep. So and so they have good egos, and so they can handle a lot. Okay, so we'll go to screen 1, and I'm not sure how I prepared this, so I hope. Okay, so
Yes. Yeah.
he's like my favorite man in the world besides my husband. Number 1, make your job work for you. This guy knows how to make it work for him. I mean, there's people that absolutely. This is where I got the most letters. It's bizarre how people react to Don. But Julie and Jack and I actually got to meet him, go out for a drink with him and his wife, and oh my God, he's amazing. He's seriously amazing, funnier than the poster.
How old is he? 80?
He's 76, I think, or something. So and his wife is like our age, 30. But he is. He's laughing all the way to the bank. So let me see. I have some notes on here. So, what could be funnier than some of your coworkers? I mean, this is, again, a therapy thing. Instead of quitting your job or getting in a big fight or, just write about them in your own little thing. And Allison, right? No, somebody. Oh, there was another girl that was here earlier. She's a school teacher. And she said as soon as she quits, she's going to have a great book because she doesn't want to write it until she quits. But questions customers ask, I can't even tell you as a flight attendant. That's why you got to read the Allergies Over the Atlantic book because, Marcy, right? It's just insane what people ask up in the air, And then paycheck or the lack of. What a great way to. What is the next screen, Jack? Is it? I don't know. Yeah. So we can follow along this way. Good, because I was kind of out of sorts. Your paycheck or lack of, yeah. I mean, that's left unsaid. I mean, even my reporter, as much as I love him, I actually get a paycheck. I know you guys are jealous, but yeah, it's not a lot. But you can write about that and make it, work for you somehow. And the daily grind how many stories every day do we hear? I mean, I wrote in page 64 of my little book, you know, this is true. The first Frank that talked, you can just swing this around. So on page 64 of this I wrote, do grocery clerks check us out as we check out? I mean, do you ever go to the grocery store? These guys must have a million stories about. I don't know. I just want to wear different clothes when I go to the store so they don't. I won't wear yellow because I don't want them to recognize me. Because sometimes I just buy really bad things and I don't want them to, you know, judge. So, I mean, think of that job and how much material that job could have. It's just insane, especially locally. We know each other. So, you know, I'm just hoping that a lot of them are from Miami and they just, you know, head back after the end of the day because it's, I can't even, so I'm horrified at some of these things that, you know, I bring up to the cash register and they're like, oh, some more booze? And, you know, I'll have my mom visiting or something, who she's passed, but, you know, and they're like, depend diapers. I'm like, it's not for me, you know, so. But, I mean, make your job work for you. So that's one of my big hints of God. And that was supposed to be out of there, but I think, let me see the next screen, because I'm not sure, because that'll be shown at the end. Yeah, okay, well, there's my husband. Yeah, and he loves this stuff. I asked him permission, but, okay, so the number 2 hint is even bad days can be funny. I mean, how many, Maggie pointed out last night, my goddaughter, the Americans' Funniest Videos, how much money have they made on this whole concept? So, you know, this is what, I could write about this for days about my husband. He was just so glad to be alive after going tubing. Is it tubing? You know, he was just holding on for dear life, but his pants.
I stayed off that experience.
He was just a little shocked at the end of it. So it was a bad day for him, but, you know, we thought it was funny. And that's all I can say about that. No, okay, so on that note, I mean, how many times have you tripped in front of a bunch of people? You can write a whole thing about that. One time Jack and I went to a huge, thanks sweetie, we went to a huge fancy restaurant. They wouldn't even let him in because he didn't have a jacket on because we live in the Keys and you're not supposed to, you know, we never wear jackets. And so they gave him a little jacket from the back and so he could actually come and eat with us. And so then I went to the bathroom and I came out and I had toilet paper trailing. And I had no idea. I mean, we were like so from the Keys at that point. Guys, okay, more friends. I hope you brought booze for later. So I have really good friends and nothing else. That's what happens with the Keys. We all are supportive and we all stick with each other. And thank you, everybody, and for sticking with me, just for meeting me. But food stuck in your teeth, I mean, that's another whole novel. You know, I could go on and on with that, let alone, you know, if you see somebody with food, how do you do it? How do you say it? What do you say? You know, there's just so many funny stories. So these are my little hints. I mean, I write the stupidest things, and America's Funniest Videos is a huge key to that. Everyday things, number 3, everyday things are hilarious. This is my sister with a horse down here at Lynn's Stables. I just went blank with what it's called. Weaveside. And this is actually Audra's horse, I think. I don't know if you guys recognize it. But that horse loved my sister. So, so everyday things. I mean, when you see these things, weren't you talking, Katie, about... It's Katie, right? Carrie, I'm so sorry. No, because I'm totally have a crush on you. So, Carrie, and then maybe a lot of people.
I'll call you Jana.
Yeah. Works for me. I'm good with that, too. Thank you. Carrie's like a genius. But she came down here and she was saying that somebody was asking about sunglasses.
Yeah, the lady wanted to know if we had special sunglasses for her to go parasailing because she'd be so close to the sun.
Oh, true story. Just everyday things down here. Well, you know the Keys, everybody. Anybody that's even been here more than an hour, you guys know it's hilarious here. I think we tend to forget how strange things are. I mean, do you just kind of drive by like an alligator mailbox and just kind of don't even think about it? But you're not going to see that in another part of the country. So seriously, you guys, look around and take stock. If you want to write a book about something, just, open your front door and sit there for a minute. I mean, people that walk on the streets, let's not even go there. There's some fun ones. And I love them because that's what makes us so great here. But our daily routines, okay, Seinfeld, let's just cut to the quick. The guy was a genius, and he knew, sorry, baby girl, he knew what to write. You can write about the most boring things, and it's just amazing. But down here, I mean, you just open your door. There's nothing boring about it. So, But, I mean, even if you don't live down here full-time, you're just visiting, there's some amazing things to write about. So just open the door, you just look at somebody's, like Frank, you were talking, Hawkins, about the way they twitch or they itch their face constantly or they move their hair or they wear yellow, you know. You can write a lot of things just based on that. Okay, here's my child labor. This is my really bad. How much am I getting paid for this? Children, you know, oh my gosh.
Whole nother book.
She just sneezed the other day, and I'm going to tell the story because I looked over and she has this wicked cold earlier in the week. Just see this major body coming out of her nose. And I'm
no.
Wow. So I can write about that, and she can't yell at me yet. She can sue me later when she's more like Lindsay Lohan's age. But you know, right now she doesn't know that she can do that. But so let's say children. I mean, I just love them, and I mean, my stepdaughter just had my first grandbaby, Luca, and I mean, I'm just listening to her go.